Hello everyone, it's a snowy day out in Minnesota. Everything, it's like snowing and melting, so it's just like, like if you step in that thing, that is, big puddles of that mush, where it looks safe to stand in. But that's just the weather. There's a lot more important things like people, human beings, and our lives and what we're doing here. The big questions in life that I love to talk about every day. That's why we come out here, not to talk about the weather. We observe the weather. We take a look at the weather. But so let's talk about some stuff. Let's see what God's saying to me first. They talk to me all the time, so I like to tell people that, but they want me to be a normal person. I said, it's kind of hard for me to do that. I've never felt normal in any way, shape, or form, other than I have, I guess, the correct amount of limbs. I feel like I'm telling Norm Macdonald jokes all the time. They're real, like, corny, and then they all look at each other like, I think that was a joke, but no one's laughing. So it's always like, don't talk. They said, don't do that. When I mentioned this more, when during the Enlightenment process, they had to work through my humor. And so at first they would make jokes at their expense, so God's expense. And then they would shift it onto me, make jokes at my expense, So it's kind of like they say, don't take things so seriously. It's like, you should take life seriously, but not everything in life should be taken seriously. Let's see, I didn't have too much... Yeah, it's like, if I was just looking for, this is the kind of like, I know people don't, they might want to give me their opinion or advice, but, I'm just going to see it as that, their opinion, their belief, I know no one's probably going to help me. Like, I get that. And God could help me if they wanted to, but they said that's not what the purpose of life is. The purpose is for you to make your choices in life. And yes, they do help people. But they're not going to give me the lottery numbers or something like that. At least I don't think so. But they did. I always talk about this. They changed my dreams, but I don't always remember them. And they usually say, well, your dreams aren't really that important to remember. Just that you're having them. Just that you're having dreams. That's good enough. So they had they said, don't talk about that. Okay. Let's see. Should I do my bad joke? I said, yeah, let's do that bad joke of yours. I'm a great husband and a great father. This is a joke, by the way. Great husband, a great father, 90% of the time. But it's that 10% of the time I'm a horrible father. And I do horrible things to them. Am I a great father? It's like, that was what I was thinking. It was like, is someone a great dentist? Like, how many people would you have to mess up before they say you're not a great dentist? Type of thing. I know Christianity says it all the time, you're a murderer is a murderer, whatever, a thief is a thief, one thing or one person, whatever it is, shouldn't do it because it doesn't help you. That's basically what God says to me. They say, love a tree every day. I love you, tree. Me and this tree are getting married. They like to joke with me. I'll say something, I love the trees. And they'll say, why don't you marry them? I said, good idea. We're getting married. Me and this tree here. Don't go anywhere. Don't go. I don't think that tree's going anywhere. Yeah. I have a sense of humor like that, I guess. I would have been doing that before, that's for sure. And there's no real people out here, but sometimes I would go up and kind of joke with people, like do impressions and accents and see if I could convince people. See if I could convince people I'm from Scotland. I'm not from here. Hello, sir. I hope you're having a great day. There's a guy way out there, but just see if I can convince someone. There's a guy there. Let's see if he waves. Have a great day. There, I got his attention. So a lot of times I'm seeing people and then I like kind of ask God, like, but I don't have, it doesn't have to be a full, which way to go? Let's ask God. Okay, they said this way. That's one of the things that say, where are we going, God? Because they can have me move. They can move my body. And where are we going today, God? They said, we're not going anywhere. You are. Because God's not in a place, a time, a thing, whatever. They don't have a point of view. They can't even explain it to us. Should I start? They don't like me saying, trying to like, because they said it's not about religion. It's about having a life. See? So I was too reliant on spiritual things to try to, it's like if you got a health problem, go to a doctor. How about that? Or get a job or try to do things that benefit yourself. But I thought it was, some people think it's about serving God, but God doesn't have any needs or wants or desires. It's not a thing. So, say, God, is there a heaven? And they go, we'll take a look up here and see if we see anything. But they said, so far, we don't see anything up there. Wherever they are, they're not in a place to, But the way I always say they because it's not a single voice. It's not a, like I said, don't say that, okay? Like there's a loving voice, there's a caring voice, there's kind of a sarcastic voice, there's all these different voices. But they want me to make decisions on my own. Hello! Someone up here. How's it going? Good. I'm up for a walk. I'm just trying to enjoy the weather.
Yeah. What else can you do?
Down here, it's really nice. I really like it down here. So, have a great day. Okay, he was holding his dog, so I didn't. We're on kind of a narrow path here. Just like Jesus said, to be on the narrow path. That's the thing. Every single belief system. Let's see. If you really scrutinized it, you could find all the cracks, but usually they can revert back to, the mysterious ways, and we won't know everything. But it's not, it's not like a disbelief in God. It's more like a belief in a certain belief system. Yeah, let's talk about how, I blame myself. Let's see. They said I can. They don't think it's a good idea. Really? I'll just say, I used to beat myself up. I blame myself. I was very hard on myself. That's what people can't see. I'm a very harsh critic of myself. I know people, they probably don't have any clue what's going on the inside in people's lives, what they're thinking. I don't know what people are thinking. God reminds me of that. I don't know. That's why I have to go talk to them. Like if I'm out juggling somewhere, I don't know if they approve it, disapprove of it. Just, unless they come up and tell me. Yeah, but I would hit myself in the head with my fists until I couldn't move anymore. I don't know how long that lasted, for years and years, until I realized I didn't deserve bad things. That was, but man, I am, yeah, basically God says, people should just help. They said the people shouldn't care whether you have teeth or whether they shouldn't care. So if you could make sense out of that. But if you want help, people should help. So like I asked my parents for help and they don't want to help. Doctors they're not helping me. Here comes a runner. So people are out and about here. Have a great ride. Yeah. So yeah, that's how God they phrase it, and sometimes they'll be hard on me, sometimes they'll agree with me, sometimes there is the loving voice of God. Like when you're hearing that, the loving voice, you could just sit there and listen to that, and you wouldn't want to do anything. So they don't want to do that. They don't want to have the loving voice just talk to me. Then I'll say, well, I just want to sit there and listen to God. And I think some people can hear that voice, but I don't know, because they won't, unless they tell you about it, you won't know. So God says they don't talk to anyone, they don't speak to anyone, because there's no entity. But in their mind, they hear a loving voice that they don't have control over. Yeah, and they know. So I'll talk about that game I was in a little bit. Is that one of them was like, they said the malicious demons were locked up. And so basically all the demons that were out in the world could only kind of mess with people. They couldn't like go out and just kill people, because you hear that comment from, let's say, atheists or whatnot, that why aren't demons out killing people or something if they hate humans. And so in this game they were all locked, the malicious ones were all locked up, but they had to be battled. There was going to be a battle at the end where I would have to go down into hell and battle them. And I believed this at the time, that somehow I would go into this when I would go to sleep. Yeah, I was convinced. Can I say that? They said it'll make me look crazy. Before I went on the Jeff Mara podcast one night, like it was like he was talking to me telepathically, but now I know it was just God. So I've had that instances where but in my current belief system, I believe that can happen. Last night I was begging God. I was like, God, just make me God. And they said, we don't want to do that. The perceptional thing. Plus it's like, with all the magic tricks and computers, they can make it look like anything, So even if I had these powers, I don't know if, and no person can have them, so. But they can believe that they have them. So that's why there's usually a training program. You have to train to be able to do mind powers or whatever it is. Goku. Should we ask God to do some channeling? All right, everyone. God's taking over here. I'd rather be out in Scotland right now, but Duluth, Minnesota will have to do. What else do you want us to say? All right, that's what they basically said. So I kind of go in the back seat when that's happening, and I'm like an observer. So they can take over my thoughts, and there's all these different levels of where they can make it so I don't know what's coming out of my mouth, but then they could also tell me what's coming out, but then they could tell me something else is coming out, like in my mind. Like they'll say, don't say watermelon, say something else. Don't think it, and they're like, ooh. They could do that. They're not doing it now, but what would be a fun topic to talk about? I'm good at sports. I'm good at throwing balls, catching balls, hitting balls. God made me really good with that. But I'm 40 now, so it's not like I can. They said I could. I mean, a 40-year-old trying to join the PGA Tour. Because they said I'm good enough to do that, but that is a whole nother ball game. Trying to become a professional at something. Yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like I'm useless, like a useless person. It's just like just not getting the help that I need. So then I'm like constantly like waiting for help. Like I thought my parents were like, oh yeah, we'll get around to that. That was, but first we got to do this. And God said, no, they just don't care. Because there's a saying like, give a busy person a task to complete and they'll get it done. Because they just like getting things done. But my parents just don't want to get this done. They just don't want to help. That woman doesn't want to talk. I don't think anyone thinks that like but the justice system doesn't. Let me rant about how I think the justice system is evil, corrupt. There's a lot of jokes about lawyers, being bad. They just don't want to correct anything. That's the problem. And they know no one cares. So that's why you have to attempt to fight back on these people. Man, if I got power, they would be, I'd say, would you like to apologize and make the situation right? Otherwise, you have to be punished for doing evils. And people don't agree with what they're doing, but they have control of everything. So they can just do what I want or do what they want, whatever. Is God messing with my voice here? Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, wow. God, I have these realizations. Like God could have someone spill the beans on live TV if they wanted to. Because they could just take the person's voice over. But they also don't want to do that. So some people say, well, is God helping evil people? Well, God doesn't think anyone's evil. They don't see it that way. They don't see it as this person's good, this person's evil. They don't see it that way at all. They just see it as more like people don't like that. And that's not a good idea. And that's not going to help you. That's not going to help anyone. I gotta fix something here. Set that down. Yeah, just wear something on my knee, but my knees, my backs, I got a lot of like little problems like that. Those are major problems. But during the Enlightenment phase, God said, because it was about being a holy man, so it was always about what you need. And they said, you don't need to wear those. I go, but I like to wear them. So it's like this big argument with God, and then a jacket. Let's see what we're up to, 20 minutes, yeah. Hope that's coming in okay. Yeah, I'm still wearing a jacket from high school. If people say it's like, this is my choice, I go, well, I mean, if you break someone's legs, I guess it's their choice to sit in the wheelchair. But that is some wind, folks. Big winds. We got some big winds coming for you, Steve. Just hang in there. Yeah, live by faith. I guess nobody knows what's going to happen in the future. But I guess it's like no one knows. I could have never predicted that my life was going to be wrecked. I could have never predicted that God was going to step in. They don't want anyone to worry about their death. That's one thing they tell me. So a lot of belief systems, have an afterlife in them, because they don't want people to be, but they also don't want people like me who are just waiting their life out, hoping that the next life will be better. So they tell me there's no afterlife or whatever, but they say no miracles, but there's no supply of there's a lot of stories, because I believe God gives people that. So see, I have this need, I guess everyone feels this need to some degree of like correcting people, but then I look back and I was just pushing my belief system. That's, was Mary this, or, a created being, or what about this or that? So it's like we're all looking for the truth, or we think we have the truth. Yeah, someone's a BS detector. They said, oh, my BS detector. I go, yeah, it's something you don't believe in. That's basically people's BS detector. They don't believe it, so. But there's other people that are just like me. I was just looking for truth. Just, where is the truth, God? Give me the truth. And they basically said, well, there's no truth like you think it is, but we'll give you the best belief system we can give you. How about that? So they said, my belief system. They said, don't talk about that. They're kind of like sarcastic. Yeah, it's like the closest to what the truth would be. But they also said it doesn't matter. Does it, they have to give people what they want. Because if they try to give people what they don't want, they'll just reject it. So, I don't know. I feel like everyone's getting duped to a certain degree, but there's no duper. There's no, God's not sitting up there saying, let's dupe this guy, let's fool this guy. But in the belief systems, they don't want me to say that word, but let's just say in a belief system, there's the good guys and the bad guys. The good guys come and help you do things, and the bad guys try to get you off the path. Gee, I wonder if anyone can figure that one out. I'm talking in code word. So everything on the internet has to be code word. You have to be very sly. I don't think everything, but it seems like there's always censors that just want to censor people for just, giving their opinion. It should just say, this is my opinion here. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a whatever. But God hoodwinked me into getting a COVID shot. How about that? Took over my voice. But I went along with it, so. But they have ways. They have ways, darling, to get people to do things. They can take their voice right over, put a thought in your head, make you say something that you'll soon regret. I love you. I love you. Tomorrow I love you. It's only a day away. Well, God's going to be hammering me down as soon as let's see we're at 26 minutes. I don't know how long these videos should go. I didn't check analytics or anything. But God says, hey, if people want to watch it, they'll watch it. They say, we don't think it's helping you. But, and they don't like the maybe someday. They just like the attitude of work towards what you want. That's what they tell me. If you want to be a famous Hollywood star, darling, you have to go out and work for it. And then they do some heavy lifting for you to help you get it. A lot of people have those stories where, they just met the right guy, the right place, right time. Pretty sure that's God doing that. But I call it, the subtlety. They don't just get on the blowhorn. All right, get over here, stand here, wait 5 minutes. And a guy, they had me do that once. They said, we'll have you meet a woman. They said, wait down here. And then we'll have her come by. But that's how, I hate saying bad things about women, but it's like, they sound interested or whatever. And here's my phone number. And then they don't want to talk to you for some reason. And get that, but they said that's pretty common. That's what they told me. So. Yeah. We're not going to talk about how sad and depressing my life is. About how they said, look, if you wanted a date, they said you'd find a way to get it. If you wanted to have children, you'd find a way to get it. That's what they usually tell me. But they say you don't want that stuff. I go, what do I want? They say, well, if you want it, you'd work towards it. So I don't know. That's why I asked God to tell me what to do. Here's my favorite little river down there. We're at 28 minutes. 28 minutes. I don't know what else to say here other than watch out for your dinosaurs that are creepy and crawling. Yeah, we're not all gonna agree on what we believe, that's for sure. And God says, I'm not wrecking people's belief systems. I don't think atheists are wrecking Christianity if they criticize it. I always thought it was the other way around. I thought when people kind of criticize you, then you have to like figure that out. Because every time they bring up a quote, then I have to go look it up. Try to figure out what it meant. I thought it deepened my faith, if anything. That's the thing, is if someone criticizes me, am I going to just change my beliefs? I said, God put me through a whole process. I don't know what else. It makes no sense saying there's no God, but there's also something happening. And they would say it's just reality, but it's like, well, they can never shake the belief in me that there's something greater than us. There's something, no matter what anyone says, no matter what experiences I have. In fact, I've had so many experiences, I don't think most people can even relate, because everyone's had tiny ones, that's what I'd say. That's why we listen to those experiences. Unfortunately, I'm not good at talking about them. That's why maybe they don't like my attitude. If I said maybe someday I'll have a book or something, a video. But it's like I don't have people helping me saying, well, let's just help you do what you want to do. Get things solved. Because I say my life was, they don't want me to say the D word, but wrecked. Not going in the right direction, the direction that I want. That's the thing, is like, I feel like, people can help each other in ways that they don't even expect. Like friends, like having good friends. That's too bad on my part. Or having, my parents could have easily, that's how I see it, help me, but they don't want to. Let's see what we're at here. We're already at 32 minutes. But I'm just out for a walk. And when I'm out for a walk, I'm going to be talking to someone, either just out loud in my mind. There's going to be something going on. All right. Shouldn't have done that. All right. So I think we'll end it here with God bless. I love you, everyone. Here, so let's get some done. Have a great day. We'll just end it here with some lovely, lovely, wonderful dogs. There you go.